Welcome to today's feature of Action Theater. Uh, today's feature is GoldenEye from 1995, starring Pierce Bronson. I believe this might be the first one that he was in. I can't remember. I can't
Yeah,
remember
that's
which. Huh?
it is his first one, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Splendid. All right. So. These have. Oh, you want to read the synopsis? You can go ahead.
Yeah. All right, here is the synopsis from IMDb Pro. When a powerful secret defense system is stolen, James Bond is assigned to stop a Russian crime syndicate from using it. All right, it's rated PG-13. Runtime is 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh, this has got some classic actors: Sean Bean and Robbie Coltrane, Hagrid, and Judi Dench, Joe Baker, Isabella Scarpapo.
Yeah, I could never pronounce her name. I'm sorry. I feel real bad about it.
Yeah.
All right. Famke Janssen, of course. And we'll be pointing a few other people out as we see them. Alan Cumming, of course, who you might know from the X-Men movies as Nightcrawler. He's in this as well. And hello to Lester's Skeptic Tank Obsessions.
Hello, Lester.
Isabella is underrated. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I remember seeing her in this and Reign of Fire, and that was it. Yeah, I remember.
All right. As much as we'd love to show you these here on YouTube, we are restricted by the rules and regulations of YouTube and copyright law. So this will be a commentary track only. We do have a screening room provided, which you have to link into if you want to watch it. This is probably might be available to watch on Amazon Prime in the MGM Plus. I'm not sure, but it is also available on like Fandango and probably more or less Tubi. So, yeah, all right. Let's head over to the screening room. I'm gonna load that up and we'll get it underway.
All right.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
MGM UA logos.
Oh, they kind of changed this James Bond theme tune, didn't they?
And of course, they start this movie off pretty big. There was a lot of anticipation surrounding this film because, for those of you I'm sure know this story, uh, Pierce Brosnan was actually the first choice, or at least was one of the first choices to replace Roger Moore. And the idea was The Living Daylights was originally going to be his first Bond. But at that time, he was on a rather successful television show here in the States called Remington Steele.
I remember
And
Remington.
yeah, and they wouldn't let him out of his contract to do that show so that he could go and play Bond. So he kind of wound up having to play Remington Steele for like another year or two.
This is a
And then,
hell of a opening
oh yeah,
stunt here with
great.
him bungee jumping off this bridge. Well, not bridge, dam.
Damn.
That looks like the one we have, but here in the States, but it's not. Not the Hoover Dam. Sorry.
Archangel Chemical Weapons Facility.
Isn't that me? It looked like the Russians were wearing some postmodern uh, Cold War uniform. Interesting. A meat locker with some type of a butcher.
And of course, this
Wow.
opens up much differently than your usual Bonds. Is they give him a partner at the beginning of this film. Of course, this is Sean Bean as Alex Trevelyan, who is 006. And, yeah. The character, the actor playing the character of the Russian general that we're going to be seeing throughout the film is Gottfried John. Was in a lot of these kind of movies, well, spy type movies. Sometimes the villain, sometimes not.
So what's I forgot what's stored here. Is it nuclear grade weapons, petroleum, or
Something
some
like that,
type of
yeah.
nerve gas? Whatever it is, they don't want to shoot at that. It looks a lot like the Hydra base. Oh,
Yeah,
pull up.
unrealistic, but it's a cute film, guy.
Yeah, pull up, pull up.
And of course, the base explodes. So, mission accomplished, but 006 has been lost. Or has he? Stay tuned. Of course, Tina Turner, the title song.
Did any of you play the Super NES GoldenEye? That was a very popular game back then. I I never did, but I'm told that it was a good game. No, that was for the Nintendo 64, I think. Yeah. LFKHC 2005.
Daniel's Hot Topics.
Of course, she's playing Minute Money Penny, right?
No, no.
Is this the X-Men prequel then? I don't think so. It does have the actress that plays Gina Gray, right? She does play Gina Gray, right?
Yes, that's right.
I think this was her introduction to film. A woman that smokes cigars.
Hello in the chat to Enigma Severus. I find that hard to believe, Daniel.
He should have ordered the non-kinky. Hey, if you gotta go, go with a smile, right? It looks a lot like the Airwolf or an Apache helicopter. Damn, she is ruthless. Ah, the days of dial-up internet, the early stages of the internet.
Even he's like, damn. And hello in the Cosmic chat to Suzanne Eckstein. Very, very good to see you today. Oh, it's just a model. And the actress playing Moneypenny is named Samantha Bond. No kidding.
Samantha Bond.
Yep.
Oh, hey, someday you have to make good on your innuendo.
I'm trying to remember if this was the first time they ever had Tanner on screen. Of course, this version played by Michael Kitchen, who you might remember from those of you who are fans of Masterpiece Mystery on PBS might remember him from Foyle's War.
Whoa.
All right. Sorry about that. Forgot to plug into your machine here. I am back. Hello to Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her channel, Fluff Check Productions, Connie Cleary. Daniel's Hot Topics, a fan of the MI6 building. Right. Of course, there in the previous scene, we got our first look at our first female M, played by Judi Dench. And she's not a big fan of Bond at this point. I will never remember that. Oh, there's a way out. Oh, yes. Boris. Where exactly is Boris? That's one way to put it.
Our timestamp is 46 minutes and 29 seconds.
Dennis. No, no, no. He was not an Iron Man. Enigma says, I still think Daniel Craig was much more cavalier towards his life than Pierce Brosnan portrayed. Daniel Craig's Bond did so many things that showed he didn't care. Certainly not in Quantum of Solace, for sure. Much more on the edge in that film, I thought. I'm the Quantum of Solace defender. I mean, a defender. I actually like that movie quite a bit. It's if you look at it for what it truly is essentially the second half of Casino Royale. Which is a movie we're going to be getting to here
yes,
before the month is over. Watch Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace back to back, and you'll see what I mean.
You missed. Oh, ain't she a beauty, isn't she? Which is going to come into play later on in the film.
Mm-hmm. You ever see a Saturday Night Live Celebrity Jeopardy? With
No.
Daryl Hammond as Sean Connery. And he just completely tortures Alex Trebek. I'll take the penis mightia for 500. That's not what it says.
Eat Q's lunch.
And of course, late great Joe Don Baker.
May he rest in peace.
And of course, he had previously been in a Bond film. He was a villain in The Living Daylights. He plays this character named Brad Whitaker, who referred to himself as a general, even though he was not affiliated with any military. He's called himself that. Here he plays a CIA man, and he's not Felix Leiter, but he kind of takes that place for the Brosnan films. Did Cosme freeze up for anybody else?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, I may have to refresh.
Yeah. Let me know. I'll quickly reboot it. So bear with us, folks. Make sure that everything's running smoothly. It should be back running now. Oh yeah, Mini Driver doing the singing number. Oh,
All right, I'm back. I
welcome
think.
back.
I'm sitting here talking, and I'm not even on StreamYard anymore. Okay. I'm not on Cosme anymore either. Sorry, folks. I'll be back. All right. I don't know where I left off. Yeah, it did. The Cosme did freeze for me and then came back and then froze again. And then apparently somewhere along the way, I got knocked off of StreamYard. So, Suzanne, if you can hear me, no, it was not just you. It was me as well. Thank you, Tim, for the $1 super chat. I appreciate it. Daniel's Hot Top says, "Yeah, he was the general who got blown up at the end of the Living Daylights." Yeah, I don't know if anybody heard that part of it when I was on Cosme there. Joe Don Baker previously being in Living Daylights, playing General Brad Whitaker, even though he's not really affiliated with any military. He's just refers to himself as a general. You just declare yourself a general, I guess. He's kind of like the Felix Leiter of the Brosnan films. Yes, and thank you. I'm planning a birthday stream for Saturday night, so that should be up on my channel. Anyway, we get back around to Cosme and catch up with everybody else here. All right. And of course,
Robbie Coltrane.
Robbie Coltrane.
Hagrid.
And I first saw him in Kroll in 1983.
Mimi Driver.
Never realized she was in this movie until just now. Oi! Oh, well, okay. Fair enough. Okay. This Good Will Hunting sequel is weird. Also, I don't think they've done Good Will Hunting yet. So I guess technically this would be prequel. We never know. Skylar could have hooked up with some Russian dude before she met Will. Who's to say? Good Will Hunting is Bond universe. Confirmed. Silence. Shidaboo. Meaning you rented that garage? No. Wrong movie. Sorry. Three, six, whatever. Of course, if he's so drunk he's seeing double, 3 helicopters could be 6. You never know. No. Fire! Or Diana Ross is about to come out. I don't know. Could be either one. Oh, hello.
If you could call it foreplay. Yeah.
My idea of foreplay is smacking a woman in the jaw and saying, "Pop goes the weasel." Or have I been doing that wrong? I'm kidding, folks. I'm kidding.
She got a hot bum.
Mm. Hello to Big Al Presents. It says
Hey,
Goodwill
Big
Hunting
Al.
was 2 years later, 1997. Okay. Haggard said, I heard the new M is a lady. Is that a reference to the other M's? I would think, yeah. Excuse me.
Karate chop to the back of the head.
Chop.
He's got former Soviet Union artifacts left over from the Cold War.
Okay, statues, freeze.
Wait a minute, you're doing it too well. Oh, it's 006. What? He's alive. It's like, I think I just seen a ghost.
Those of you on Cosme, Tim is posting a picture of the actual MI6 building. Of course, this is where they finally meet.
Yeah. A little tied up, eh? Oh boy. Yeah. Well, that started the plane, the helicopter.
I think it's launching with or without him.
Oh boy. Eject. Eject. Wow, the whole thing ejected. I don't think I like this ride. Our current timestamp is 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 31 seconds. I think I'll just take this here tank. Yeah, it was very fast for a tank. Who said driving this tank is like riding a bicycle? You never ever forget.
Of course, here's the tank chase.
Wow, what a douche! Now they're bracing for impact. I think the tank is going to lose. Yep, drive right through it. I'd like to remind you guys so that I am the host of the show, so you may if you could go to my channel and give it a like and maybe say something in the chat, that'd be nice. Is that an Apple computer? Apple Mac 2? Oh, Cessna. That is some green Hawaii.
This is the sequel to Mitchell and Found of Justice. Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, damn. Their Cessna's on fire. That's no good. Uh-oh. On the top. On the top. On the top is our back.
Thank you for flying Northwest. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Don't take that from my on the top.
You just saw that one coming.
Even at 165 pounds, I don't think you can squeeze a guy that strongly. But then again, I've never had that. So, oh, yes. Break her back.
She's going to feel this in the morning.
Right. She always did. Yeah, but was the squeeze worth it?
She used her
Wait a
telekinesis.
minute. Is the juice worth
Yeah.
Mr. Invincible? We'll see how invincible you are. giant radio telescope coming out of the lake. Yes, it's in Puerto Rico.
Hello in the Cosme chat to Curtis Selby.
Hey, Curtis.
We've reached the third act of GoldenEye. Okay, game console, freeze. I'd like to welcome everyone to No Peripheral Vision Theater.
Another cold storage facility, huh?
I am an exceptional thief, Mrs. McLean, and you ought to be more polite since I'm moving up to kidnapping. Oh, wait. Royce, you said heavy
Ouch.
beach. Ladies, please calm down.
Notice how he intentionally pays attention to that pin. Or else what?
Oh, no.
Well, nothing that quick.
Mm. Oh no, my lair! My beautiful top secret lair!
Well,
Oh, look out.
yeah, looks like you're not gonna have problems today. Ew. Oh, that got hurt. I'd probably be shaking my computer too if it was that damn slow. Oh, let him fall. Let him be the fall guy.
For me. Crunch.
Wait a minute. Of course the villain comes back for one last threat.
Pretty sure that got him.
Yes, he would be dead.
Of
But
course,
for all intents and
Force.
purposes, he had to be.
I
Oh,
am invincible.
you are frozen.
Now you're a coat rack. Yes, he appears to be fine.
Oh, God, this guy, he keep on showing up. Mr. CIA guy. Oh, he's not CIA. Yo, Marines.
Hey, it said he'd get the Marines. He got the Marines.
Yeah.
Huh.
That was GoldenEye.
Shall I consult the scrolls?
Yes. Consult the scrolls.
All right. GoldenEye was released November 17th, 1995. Estimated budget of 60 million, going on to gross 352 million worldwide. Was nominated for 2 BAFTA awards, visual effects and sound. Two Saturn nominations, Best Actor for Pierce Brosnan and Best Action Adventure Film. Winner of the BMI Film Music Award, the German Golden Screen Award, nominated at the IGN Summer Movie Awards for in 2012 for Best Movie Blu-ray for the Bond 50th anniversary box set. Nominated for Best Stunt Ensemble, the Awards Circuit Community Awards. Nominated at the MTV Awards for Best Fight between Famke Janssen and Pierce Brosnan. And nominated for, get this, Best Sandwich in a Movie. The submarine sandwich with tomatoes and provolone.
That was a monster hoagie. Hero.
All right. "42 filming locations, the Langham Portland Place, London, England, for St. Petersburg Grand Hotel. Somerset House, Strand, London, for the exterior scenes. Portland Place, London. Arecibo Observatory, Arecibo, Puerto Rico, for the GoldenEye satellite dish. Art Deco Palm Court Park Lane Hotel, Piccadilly, Mayfair, Westminster, Greater London. British Sugar Factory, Petersborough, Cambridgeshire, England. Exteriors, the end of the tank chase. Brompton Cemetery, Fulham Road, West Brompton, London. Exterior, the Our Lady of Smolensk Church. The Bronze Horseman, Senate Square. Admiralty District, St. Petersburg, Russia. Casino di Monte Carlo, Monaco, casino scenes. Cienega di Chubusco Farm, Vega Baja, Puerto Rico. Bon and Natalia meet Jack Wade and exchange the BMW in the plane. Courtyard Somerset House, the Strand, Westminster, Greater London, St. Petersburg Central Square. Decemberist Square, St. Petersburg, Russia, for Senate Square. Drapers Hall, Throgmorton Avenue, City of London. Interior Direction Defense Ministry Council Chambers. French Riviera, Alpes Maritimes, France. Grand Corniche, Alpes Maritimes, France, for the car race. Earlier's the bunch of French stuff I'm not going to bother to pronounce. Alpes Maritime, France, which was also the car chase. Hermitage, Palace Embankment, Dvorsky, bunch of other Russian shit I'm not going to bother to pronounce. St. Petersburg, Russia. Basically, this is just a bunch of French places. Monaco, St. Petersburg, a lot of it in England. Moving on. All right. Be here all day. All right. On to the trivia. Before Pierce Brosnan was cast as James Bond, Liam Neeson, Mel Gibson, Sam Neill, Hugh Grant, and Lambert Wilson were all rumored to be in the running for the role. Actresses considered as Bond girls: Elizabeth Hurley, Elle Macpherson, Paulina Poroskova, Eva Herzegova, all offered roles in Natalia but turned it down. Several changes had to be made to the script during production because the plot was virtually identical to True Lies, which was being released at the time. After License to Kill, Michael G. Wilson and Alphonse Rosario Jr. wrote a script treatment for a James Bond movie intended to be released in 1991, starring Timothy Dalton, using the title The Property of a Lady, the title taken from an Ian Fleming short story. According to what little evidence is available about the script and is printed in the book The Bond Files by Andy Lane and Paul Simpson, the movie was to have taken place in Scotland, Tokyo, and Hong Kong. The plot would have involved nanotechnology. Potential directors included John Landis, Ted Kotcheff, and John Byram. Legal squabbles over the ownership of James Bond, disappointing box office results on Kill, and the death of longtime screenwriter Richard Maybaum delayed the start of production for several years. Although he was contracted to play Bond a third time and possibly a fourth time, after several years elapsed with no new movie, Timothy Dalton announced he didn't want to play the role again. This opened the door for Pierce Brosnan. Several title and concept changes changed The Property of a Lady into this movie. First opening title sequence directed by title designer Daniel Kleinman, picking up the baton from long-standing designer Maurice Spender, who had died since the making of License to Kill. Because the film franchise was caught up in litigation, the 6-year hiatus between the release of License to Kill and this movie is the longest gap between Bond movies since the series first started in 1962. Though the gap between Spectre 2015 and No Time to Die 2021 tied that time, albeit the latter was due to COVID-related release schedule delays. Okay, this answers my question. This is the first time that the Bill Tanner MI6 Chief of Staff character has appeared in a James Bond movie since For Your Eyes Only. The character was meant to return for Tomorrow Never Dies, but the actor, Michael Kitchen, who had played him here, was unavailable to return. But Kitchen did get to return as Tanner in The World Is Not Enough. Jack Wade was named after the screenwriter Kevin Wade, who wrote a draft. GoldenEye is the nickname of James Bond creator Ian Fleming's beachfront house in Jamaica, where between 1952 and 1964 he wrote the Bond novels and short stories. It was named for the contingency plan that the SIS, whose members included Fleming, devised in the event of a Nazi invasion of Spain. First James Bond movie directed by a non-Brit. This was Martin Campbell, who was recommended on the strength of his television series Edge of Darkness, which also co-starred Jodan Baker. Highly recommend it. Check it out. Got remade with Mel Gibson. Later, Die Another Day was directed by fellow New Zealander Lee Tamahori, and Campbell returned to direct Casino Royale. This movie is credited with having the largest amount of model and miniature work ever utilized in a James Bond movie. the first James Bond movie to be made after the downfall of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War, and thus the first Bond movie to actually shoot in the traditional spy genre Cold War country of Russia, St. Petersburg specifically. However, Epsom Downs Racecourse in Surrey doubled as the St. Petersburg airport, while much of the tank chase was shot in London and at the new Leavesden Studios. This was to reduce expenses and to cut down on security concerns, as the entire unit would have needed bodyguards. The satellite dish at the end of this movie is the Arecibo radio telescope in Puerto Rico, which also appeared in Contact. It took about 10 minutes for the crew to walk along the walkway from the periphery to the center of the dish. The Rolling Stones were offered a chance to sing the title song, but declined. Long-standing visual effects supervisor Dick Mettings died of natural causes a few months after filming was complete. The movie is dedicated to him. The first completely original James Bond movie without reference to any Ian Fleming novel or short story. In the script, M's real name is Barbara Maudsley. The James Bond movie's traditional home at Pinewood Studios was unavailable, having been booked to shoot First Night, coincidentally starring the original James Bond, Sir Sean Connery. So the producers created a new studio from a former Rolls-Royce aircraft engine factory in Aerodrome. This studio at Leavesden in Hertfordshire was named Leavesden Studios. It was subsequently used for Sleepy Hollow and Star Wars Episode I: The Phantom Menace. This was the first film to shoot at Leavesden Studios, and when built, it was nicknamed by the production as Cubbywood. Although it's alleged that Pierce Brosnan's contract to play James Bond specifically prohibited him from appearing in other movies wearing a tuxedo, he appeared in a tuxedo in A Mirror Has Two Faces. The tank chase took approximately 4 weeks to film. The ID number on the badge of Admiral Chuck Farrell of the Canadian National Defense was number 2488. Mitchell previously played the yacht commander of the Flying Saucer in Never Say Never Again. In the original script, Admiral Farrell was to be an American. According to David L. Robb's book, Operation Hollywood, this was changed on request of the Pentagon. Computer graphics were used to create the famous gun barrel opening, making this movie the first James Bond film to use CGI. New arrangements of the Bond theme used in the opening was disliked by many fans and was replaced by a more traditional version in future movies. Features the highest bungee jump from a structure in a movie. The drop was over 722 feet. The man who did the jump has a cameo as the black-haired Tiger helicopter pilot who's shot by Xenia Onatopp. The first of the James Bond movies to be released on DVD. The first MGM UA Dolby Digital release. Composer John Altman provided the music for the tank chase after it was decided that Eric Serra's initial arrangement was not to be used in order to use a more traditional rendition of the James Bond theme. It appears on the soundtrack CD as A Pleasant Drive in St. Petersburg. As such, the collaboration for this incidental music in the movie is the only instance in the film franchise in which that's occurred. The title song did not chart in the US, but in the UK and went to the number 7 spot on the charts. The song was written by Bono and The Edge of U2 and performed by Tina Turner. All three were neighbors to each other living in the south of France. One day, the U2 members went over to Turner's place, whereupon Ed's played the song on Turner's piano. Bono's inspiration for writing the song was his honeymoon stay with his wife at Ian Fleming's Jamaican beach house, GoldenEye, also the name of the movie. Hello to Orville Nation.
Hello, Orville Nation.
Okay. Some knowledge being dropped in the chat from our experts in the chat. Yeah, we did bring this up. Billy J. Mitchell was Red 7 in Star Wars, and Commander Peterson in Never Say Never Again, so he's in 2 Bond films, yes. He's also in Top Secret, and actually a number of other movies. He had quite a career. Check out his IMDb. That was a great movie. Brought me way back to 1995 when I was 8. Thanks for sending me back to the good old 90s. Right on. And he was Dr. Mulberry in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Yeah. Tim says he's been in the Somerset House. Right on. Sean Bean was one of the first people, not the first person to play Bond, and MGM saw Pierce Brosnan's performance as Bond. He decided to go with him instead and make Sean Bean the villain. Okay. I think I read that Pierce Brosnan was going to be Trevelyan and Sean Bean was going to be Bond. However, as I say, when MGM says saw Brosnan's performance as Bond, they switched roles. Okay. All right. There are many trivia pieces of trivia here. I'm going to read off a few more because if I didn't, I would be here all night. So,
yeah, we don't want
that. The Manticore scene in the Monte Carlo sequence was actually called Northern Cross. The $15 million yacht was owned by Jorma Lilibaka of the power machine company Finn Power. Pierce Brosnan was officially introduced to the press as the new James Bond on June 8th, 1994, at the Regent Hotel in London. He was sporting a full beard as he was about to start production on Robinson Crusoe the next day. Pierce Brosnan hurt his hand in his bathroom at his house in Malibu before shooting began. So in several shots, his hands were doubled by his 22-year-old son, Christopher Brosnan, who was the 3rd assistant trainee on the 2nd unit. These include pulling on a handbrake on the Aston Martin DB5, flipping open the glove compartment to reveal a bottle of Chel Bollinger champagne, using the laser in the opening bungee jump, and cutting through the floor of the train with the laser with his wristwatch. Dame Judi Dench's glass of bourbon is really apple juice with 2 lumps of light glass passing for ice cubes. Pierce Brosnan drank iced water instead of the famous vodka martini. For the scenes in which Xenia Onatopp is seen flying the Tiger helicopter, a male pilot had to be made up to look like Famke Janssen. All right. Director Martin Campbell has a cameo in the movie. He's one of the cyclists who gets toppled over when Bond and Xenia Onatopp race past him. The opening weekend box office gross was slightly altered to $26,205,007. The same last 3 digits were used in the reports for the opening weekends of the next 2 Bond movies as well. Going to read a few more here. The motorcycle stunts during the opening sequence were performed by uncredited British stuntman named Murray DeHaan. The first James Bond movie produced by Barbara Broccoli with Michael G. Wilson as a fully fledged main producer. This movie was voted the best marketed film of 1995 at the Film Information Council. Uh, Instead of Miss Moneypenny, Lola Ponsby, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, James Bond's secretary in the early Fleming novels, was in the first draft of this movie. Presumably, she was going to replace Moneypenny as a recurring character. Ultimately, tradition prevailed, and Moneypenny ended up in the final draft. Barnsby was scrapped. The first draft of the script contained scrapped action sequences that ended up in future James Bond movies. Bond and Marina, later renamed Natalia, escaped from an underground nuclear explosion in a chase sequence involving helicopters equipped with giant buzzsaws. Ended up in The World Is Not Enough, the U.S. government and MI6's collaborative effort to destroy the space-based weapon Tempest, later renamed GoldenEye, was resurrected and used in Die Another Day as the attempt to destroy Icarus. Lastly, the free fall sequence ended up in Quantum of Solace. General Leonid Pushkin, James Bond's ally in The Living Daylights, was in the first draft of this movie. Just like in The Living Daylights, Pushkin was going to be used as a pawn in the major villain's scheme. His character was replaced with Dmitry Mishkin. Pierce Brosnan and George Lazenby are the only 007 actors born outside of the United Kingdom. Lazenby was born in Australia, Brosnan in Ireland. Unlike Lazenby, Brosnan moved to the UK when fairly young. Sean Bean previously auditioned for the role of James Bond in The Living Daylights. The second appearance in a Bond movie of Joe Don Baker, playing a villain in The Living Daylights. In this movie and Tomorrow Never Dies, he plays the role of CIA agent Jack Wade, a Bond ally. President Sir Walter Gotell played the villain Morzini in From Russia with Love, and ally General Gogol in The Spy Who Left Me in other movies. Charles Gray, who played ally Viggo Henderson in You Only Live Twice, played the villain Blofeld in Diamonds Are Forever. Famke Janssen was cast after director Martin Campbell saw her in early rushes of Lord of Illusions. Okay. The only Bond movie where James Bond, M, and Miss Moneypenny were all recast with a different actor and actresses. The only holdover was Desmond Llewellyn, who played Q. Fans were skeptical about the idea of James Bond taking orders from a woman until they saw Jane Judy. I cannot pronounce these and these so closely. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Fans were skeptical about the idea of James Bond taking orders from a woman until they saw Dame Judi Dench's performance. All right. Last one. Topps Comics planned to publish a 3-issue comic book adaptation of this film, but for unknown reasons, it was canceled after the first issue, which carried a January 1996 cover date. This is the third and last Bond film adapted into a comic book after For Your Eyes Only and Octopussy. No, apparently I don't. And no, I can't imagine why Mitchell 2 never came out. Okay. There are many more. You can find them on IMDb Pro.
IMDb.
The scrolls are closed.
Let's go, Nichols. Okay. Well, we got Western Cinema coming up on Sunday. Gonna do some Daniel Craig and Harrison Ford with the aliens and Cowboys and Aliens. And then we'll be right back here on Thursday next week, regular time, for License to Kill with Timothy Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
And then following Saturday, we'll be doing, of course, Casino Royale with Daniel Craig.
All right.
That's karaoke on Saturday, and that's about all I got coming up for the coming what?
And coming up for me later on tonight at 11:30 p.m. will be Coming Attractions, the show that is my chance to touch base with my loyal subscribers and channel members, let everybody know what I'm up to for the next week, including tomorrow night, where Bill and I are going to be appearing, along with host Big Al Presents and some other special guests who are going to be dropping by. And we are going to be watching the 50th anniversary edition of Jaws at a special time, 7 p.m. That's Films with Friends on Big Al Presents channel, 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. And of course, like Bill said, also karaoke. It's usually on Saturdays. See his channel for times. Sunday, Western Cinema Presents. And also Saturday, tentatively scheduled for 6:30, is going to be my birthday stream. Since we're going to be doing Jaws tomorrow night, I'm going to move my birthday stream to Saturday. That'll be at 6:30. I'm going to be inviting some guests along, and we'll hang out with whoever is available for that program.
Cool.
All right. Yes, pray for Suzanne, our friend Suzanne Eckstein, who actually was in the chat with us briefly earlier. Going through some family stuff right now. Could use all the prayers and good thoughts that you have. So,
yeah,
please
her
do
daughters in a way.
Yeah.
So. Will do.
Yeah. And
wedding. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Good to go.
No worries, Connie.
No worries. All right. Well, that's all for me. I'll go ahead and just close my side of the show out with my normal words. I'd like to once again thank everyone for joining us. Please, we were simulcasting on both of our channels, so please do not forget to give both channels a like.
Yes.
Share out the stream, say hello in the chat, and all that good stuff. If you are new to our channels and you like what you saw, we do this every week. So please subscribe. Memberships are available as well. From HQ, our second home office in Arizona, and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. Stay away from women who will squeeze you to death with their thighs. Unless, of course, that is your thing.
I think Curtis will like that.
Because this is how we win.
Yes. Be excellent to one another. Prayer for Susan Eckstein and her daughter. And you all take care, and we'll see you around.